that this pandemic is affecting different parts of your life. It's affecting your mental life, your thinking. It's affecting your social life. You can't now hang out with your friends. You can't do the things that ordinarily you would do. Welcome back to our channel. We're excited to have you with us, even though this is a difficult time, going through the pandemic, having all of these uncertainties. And so we are happy that you are coming to our channel as your channel of choice for financial advice, financial matters, and going with us on this financial journey. So today we're going to be talking about how do you handle financial emergencies during this pandemic. And so to start us off, I'd like to ask Brenda to give us one or two tips as we continue this conversation. So Brenda, over to you.
My number one point would be try as much as you can to avoid debt at this point. Debt is not a solution. Why? Because we are living in times of uncertainties. We don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know when our employer is going to slash our salaries. We don't know when our employer is going to completely not pay. And at this point, you don't want to borrow a huge amount of money that you have no plan on how you're going to repay it back. So try and avoid debt as much as you can. But because you're living in tough times and you might need money, small money for using here and there, make sure you borrow from a close friend, a family, someone who will understand even if you're not able to repay this money back in good time, and they'll give you enough time to basically repay it back. So at this point, try and avoid debt, and if you must, make sure it's from your small circle. Number two, contact your creditors immediately. At this point, it's important that the person you borrowed money from is aware of your financial situation. Make sure they know your status. Make sure they know where you are financially. Let's say maybe you don't have a salary or you have a lesser salary now. They'll understand. You can discuss on how to stretch the repayment period, how to give you a waiting period for this payment plan, and they can also understand because it's a global pandemic and it's not just you. And the most important thing about contacting your creditors is they'll see the level of seriousness from you and they'll see the level of commitment from you. It's really, really important that they see this at this point, because you don't know what they might do and you don't know if they will understand this situation during this pandemic. So it's really important that you contact your creditors. It will give them the picture, and it will be a smooth transition even as this pandemic goes down. So that's it from me. Over to you, Mugambi.
Thank you, Brenda. Just to add to what you've said, we are living in tough economic times. This pandemic, we do not know when it's going to end. People are clearly struggling financially, and everybody wants to make their ends meet. But for us to sail through this pandemic period, we need to adjust our lifestyle. I mean, implement a crisis budget, work with a smaller budget than what you used to have before. Then also try and minimize on your fixed expenses. If it is the monthly subscriptions that you don't need, for example, DSTV subscription, gym subscription, club membership, do you really need them now? If you don't, please postpone, please cancel them. Use that extra money to cater for your necessities.
Thank you, Mugambi. On to the fifth point, reducing your food budget. Many of us have been let go from work. Maybe we're working and our salaries have been reduced. This would be a really fantastic time to reduce your food budget in different ways. One, if you're used to buying fast food every weekend, maybe you can reduce it maybe to once a month now, because that money you can use to buy ingredients for cooking for the long term, in terms of you cook on Saturday and have enough meals for the whole week. You can also learn from YouTube how to cook meals in case maybe you've never cooked a meal in your life. Now would be a good time to start. And then also you can buy groceries, especially dry groceries and toiletries from wholesale stores, because the more you buy, the less you spend, and it stretches for a longer time. Sixth point is starting a side hustle. This way you really analyze your finances, and you really dial down on what are you good at and what can you provide during this difficult time. So if you're a teacher, for example, you can teach people, you can start a YouTube page, you can start an Instagram page, or even your Facebook. Start a Facebook Live and teach kids how to, different ways of how to learn, especially kindergarten kids who do the ABCs. There's so many creative, fun ways of teaching them how to do their basic learning. Also, if you're able to distribute food to people, you buy food for them, then you send it to them, that would be fantastic. So don't worry during this time. I know it's difficult, but there are so many ways you can make money. Third is also you can get to sites such as Upwork. You're able to be hired by somebody across the world who's looking for maybe a web developer or a graphic designer or maybe a customer service person. So now is the time to look for such jobs. Or maybe you can even teach English online to people from other countries, say China or Japan, who would like to learn English and make money. So don't feel discouraged, but now is the time to start those side hustles and grow.
Thank you, McKenna. On to my first point: convert your savings bucket into an emergency fund. For instance, if you are saving towards buying a car, if you are saving towards going for a holiday, or you are saving towards renovating your home, maybe you can use that money at the moment for your day-to-day use, in the sense that you can use it for regular food budget and even regular rent budget. And lastly, I'll mention 3 points on what not to do with your money during this pandemic. First of all, do not hoard stuff in your house. I believe, and I know many people did this at the beginning when the first case was announced in Kenya. People went to the supermarkets and went to the stores and bought a lot of stuff. Probably things that they did not need, and probably things that would have expired if things went wrong, like electricity shortage. This is not the time for you to think of hoarding stuff because you're afraid of tomorrow. You can at least buy what you exactly need. And also remember, other people are waiting onto that stuff that you want to hoard, so it's not the time for you to do that. Second point on what not to do with your money will be, do not sell off your investments in panic. It could be very, very tempting for you to sell off your shares, to sell off some piece of land you've bought or any other investment that you have. This is not time for you to do that, because you really never know about tomorrow. And lastly, do not panic. Do not panic shop shares or buy shares without a plan, and especially if you do not have extra cash for you to do that. Don't go out there buying shares if you do not have that extra cash. I believe it is a good place and point to do that if you have extra cash, but if you do not have, do not stress off yourself saying that you're buying for your tomorrow. This is not the time for you if you do not have a backup plan.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gladys. And thank you, Mugambi. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, McKenna, for those points. I think for our viewers today, the people on this journey, we've talked a lot about finances. We've talked a lot about, what do you do with your money? But then we also acknowledge that this pandemic is affecting different parts of your life. It's affecting your mental life, your thinking. It's affecting your social life. You can't now hang out with your friends. You can't do the things that ordinarily you would do. And so we're also wanting to address that part in just 1 or 2 points, which I would say the first thing is ask for help where need be, because we understand that this pandemic may be really causing quite a lot of thoughts to go through your mind, heaviness, depression, things like that. And so we want to invite you to take time and ask for help when you need to ask for help. Is there someone close to you who you can talk to? A friend, a family member, and even some hotlines, which the government is offering access to that. Your local church, your local religious institution, you can be able to get somebody to talk with you during this time, so that you're not going into depression, because depression can really curtail some of your life goals, and it can cause you to go down a path that may be hard for you to get out of. Yeah, so secondly, we'd like to advise you to hit pause. Don't be afraid to take a break. during this period, you may have had these huge goals. For example, you want to go buy a car, you want to buy a house, you want to renovate your home, you want to travel, be on holiday. But it's okay to hit pause, because sometimes things around you may not allow you to do those goals. So just hit pause, take this time, reflect, energize, and when you're able to press play, I'm sure you'll press play even stronger. So that's a good thing for you to do. And if you have other tips, to handle this pandemic, please feel free to like and subscribe and comment below with your tips and share with your friends. And let's go through this together and emerge even stronger. So glad to have you here, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye for now. See you.